A cold call on Friday counts for more than any other day of the week because prospects agree it's fair game to call them business hours, Monday through Friday. This means you have 10 cold calling blocks in a week every morning, 8 a.m. to 10 a.m., every afternoon, 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. If a single cold calling block is missed, oh, it's Monday morning, I'm hungover from the weekend, I'm not feeling like it, that means you lose out on 10% of your total output capacity. On Friday afternoon especially, most reps think, okay, it's Friday afternoon, everyone's getting into the weekend, prospects don't want to be bothered, I'm just going to go to happy hour a little early today and log off. This means you're falling behind because most reps are thinking like that. So flip it on its head and think, okay, if less reps are calling on Friday, especially in the afternoon, this means those impossible to reach prospects are even easier to reach because they are receiving less calls, which is even more of a reason for you to start making double the amount of calls, especially on a Friday afternoon, because at any given moment while you're watching this video, we are one call away from changing our entire week, month, quarter. Never underestimate the power of a Friday afternoon cold call. Now that you're primed and ready to make some cold calls, you're gonna pull this video out every Friday, perhaps any business day during the week. I'm gonna share with you 3 reasons why you ought to be cold calling even more and double down in your role today. Even if you're a senior enterprise account executive, even if you're the CEO, even if you're an intern, even if you're a new hire sales development rep, now is the time to be making cold calls, and nobody can out-promote the need to pull up the phone, outbound call a prospect, interrupt their day. It's a contact sport. You're paid to be told no. Let's get into it. On a side note, I now offer individual one-on-one sales coaching. I have a few spots left that I'm allocating for the rest of next week, so you can click the first link in the description below. If you would like to meet me one-on-one, rework your script, do some role playing, whatever you need to be more successful in your role, I'm here to help. The number one reason why you ought to be cold calling more, and I heard this analogy from Alex Hormozy, and I had thought about it before I heard from him, but think of cold calling as gambling. Only cold calling is incredibly productive and you can't lose money in it. So if you think about gambling, you show up to the casino, you know that the house has odds, you're most likely gonna lose money, but you're thinking about it, hey, it's entertainment value, I'm gonna get some drinks, I'm gonna get some friends. But if you're going into it thinking, hey, I'm gonna make all this money, you're probably gonna lose all of your money. So you go into cold calling and you know that, hey, each time you play the game, you pull the lever on the slot machine, you can't lose money in cold calling. You can only make money. So you can keep playing the game. So if you can gamify your cold calling and think, okay, this is like gambling. I'm gonna have more fun calling these prospects than I am playing fantasy football, watching NFL Sunday Ticket all day, being lazy on my couch, eating wings over all day. Not that I've ever been in that position, but you're constantly playing with odds knowing, hey, I'm ultimately one yes away from my day being great. If I just keep making calls, I can't lose and I only can win. So once you get a prospect on the phone, it's like hitting the lottery. And then once you actually get a meeting set, it's literally winning the jackpot with no downside. So think about all the people that waste money buying lottery tickets. Why not invest your money in programs like mine to understand how to reach prospects at a higher rate, what to tell them on the phone so that you can set more meetings and start winning jackpots each and every day so that you can get more recognition in your sales job. Your colleagues will come up to you and be like, hey, Alex, I really want to learn what you're doing because you're setting all these meetings. Bottom line, when you think about gambling, it's fun, you gamify it. Now, when you think about cold calling, you can never lose, you can only win. You just gotta keep playing the game and the odds are eventually at your favor. The number 2 reason why you ought to be cold calling more is because it will change your career for the better. I've made over 60,000 cold calls in my sales career, and what I can tell you is that cold calling is never going away. That was the advice I got in the first week because I was dreading picking up the phone. I didn't know what to say. It was awkward to be in the office knowing other people were listening to me. And to tell you a funny story on a side note, we were working from home during the pandemic for a while. When we first went back to the office, I was around 3 people that day and I cold called. I totally froze up on the phone. So I've been there. I know it's really hard. So never go to a booth, never go to a conference room to make your calls. If your office is noisier than a sports stadium, sit there at your desk and contribute to the noise and use that energy as even more of a reason to want to pick up the phone. And that's exactly what I did. I picked up the phone each and every day. I made my calls. In the beginning of my career, making 80 to 100 calls a day as a sales development rep. As you promote up the ranks and your quota increases, you will have to make less calls over time because you simply do not have enough time in the day. You need each one of those calls that you can continue to make to be even higher value, because you need to increase your average deal size if you're ever going to have a chance of hitting quota. So I kept making cold calls, and my ability to generate outbound pipeline in addition to whatever I was getting fed from my SDRs or inbound marketing, whatever, led to my ability to promote multiple times and increase my income drastically and be viewed as a thought leader when it comes to cold calling, because I've actually put in the reps and I've done it. So now I can make videos like this one. So it's changed my career while being a rep, and it's now changed my career while hopefully helping other people love to make cold calls so that they can be more successful and achieve their desired results. The third reason why you ought to be making cold calling more is we talked about it being like gambling. Now think about it like being a sport. If you think about business, it's a 24/7 sport that can be played at all times of the day, and there's never an expiration date. If you're playing in the NFL, like you're starting to see the preseason start, these guys' bodies are just breaking down. They're doing collisions, and you only can play for so long. And for those of you who are getting in your mid to late 20s like me, you know your body, it doesn't feel quite the same as when you were a bit younger. And I don't play sports as much because I just don't want to risk injury. I want to do marathons. I want to run. I want to stay in shape. I want to stay fit. I don't want to do sports where I can get hurt, because I hear about these skiing accidents and then all of a sudden people are down for 4 months, and that's just not what I want. So think about business as playing a sport. You can make more money in business than all of these athletes playing the sport, because hopefully eventually you can get some ownership in a business. But when you think about cold calling as a sport, it's all about getting the reps and doing it for the love of the sport. I'm sure a lot of you want to play the game to win, but if you start to emotionally detach from the result but obsess over the process, all of a sudden that's what you hear with these world-class players do, is they say, hey, I take practice more serious than I do the game. Fortunately for you, every single day you go into the office, every single day you log onto your computer, it is game day. And you are playing a game, whether it's a preseason game, there's not much at stake because you're really low in your career, or maybe you're the CEO of a company and every day is like the Super Bowl. Eventually you'll be at a place in your career where there's so much on the line each and every day, people will be counting on you, that the reps you put in early in your career is what will prepare you for that moment. So think about today. What can you do to set yourself up for success? And it's picking up the phone, it's generating more pipeline than you have today, and it's starting to build that motion of how do I communicate in a succinct, articulate, concise manner to deliver quick value. Warren Buffett even says the most valuable skill he ever learned was communication and the ability to share his ideas. And fortunately, for free, every day you can pick up the phone and actually make money while you do it, and actually improve upon a skill that's going to allow you to make more money in the future. So making cold calls is basically a sport in and of itself. So why not start tracking your statistics and measure how many calls am I making a day? How many answers am I getting in a day? How many hangups am I getting in a day? Maybe I need to go grab a beer because I got hung up on 5 times today, and that's a game I used to play. So gamify it, have fun with it. Some days, just because it was raining and people were complaining, that was the signal in my mind. Hey, I'm gonna make 100 cold calls today. Hey, I'm a little bit low on meeting set this week. I'm not gonna eat food today. I'm not gonna look at my phone today until I set a meeting. Given, I'm a bit extreme and that's what's helped me get to this point. But if you're sitting there thinking, hey, it's Friday afternoon, I don't feel like it, now is the time to double down on your cold calls. They count for more. And if you think about it, cold calling is like gambling with unlimited upside. Cold calling will change your life, and cold calling is the ultimate sport that you can play for the rest of your existence. If you found value in today's video, hit the like button now, and I will talk to you in the next video or at one of the private coaching sessions you book in the first link in the description below. See you there.